There is two versions of who gets the shield, Sam or Bucky, and yeah, we talked about it, but it became pretty clear to us early on. Cap and Sam just share a character connection.
What is up, superfans? I'm Matt Stockholm, and this is another edition of The Quantum Corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will get you into our giveaway, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Okay, so for today's video, what I want to talk about is XM Cyrus did an interview with the Russo brothers. And in this interview, they pointed out a lot of cool stuff. Not only stuff that gives us insight into character arcs and in-game, but it also gives us some insight into the future of the MCU. So I'm going to talk about the biggest points, break it down for you. I have this posted on my social media if you're already connected on my social media. If not, I will still put it down in the description. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's really cool because you do learn a lot about not just the movies, but different aspects to the Russos and going through the course of the films. So I will put that down below. So first off, they talked about Cap, and they talked about Cap's arc specifically. They were saying that we know that Cap is willing to lay it down on the line, to give it all up, to sacrifice. That in the first Avenger, he was willing to do it. Again, in Winter Soldier, when he was trying to make his point to Bucky, we know that he's that type of guy. So for his arc, they wanted to see him be a little bit selfish and actually get what he wanted. And we know his biggest regret, his biggest loss is Peggy Carter. So that's what he did. He went for it. He went out and got it. And I was happy for Cap to see that. And then they talked about the aspect to time and time travel. And what they said was they pointed to what Professor Hulk explains in the movie when he's talking to War Machine and all them about Back to the Future and all the different future movies, that you can't change the past, you just make an alternate future. Basically, your present becomes the past, and now your new past becomes your new future. So, sorry, I didn't mean to make that more confusing, but if you watch the movie, you got the gist of it. So basically what Cap did was come out to an alternate timeline, like an alternate future where he's with Peggy. So I know there was a lot of questions about that. Did it change the past? Did he go get her from the past? So I thought that was kind of cool to find out. And they also mentioned that they're kind of sticking to the multiverse aspect, which I think if you look at the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, they straight up mention the multiverse, even the 616 universe. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is handing off the shield. Bucky or Sam. And what they said was, though Bucky and Steve had a really good relationship, they were kind of more like the odd couple. It was like Steve was like the bullied one, and Bucky was kind of like the big tough guy. And so though they were best buddies and had a really tight relationship, they felt more like Sam and Cap were like on the same level. That they mentioned specifically they were like kindred spirits, and they just kind of like had the same views, the same ideals. They just kind of were a lot alike. So they felt like from early on that was going to be the choice to make, even though they said it was a really hard choice to make between the two. Okay, now we're going to talk about Tony's arc. Now they said in the mirror effect, because Tony started very selfish, arrogant, all about himself, it was only fitting for his arc to end with the ultimate sacrifice. And the fact that he even had a lot to lose, being married to Pepper, having his daughter, he had everything to lose, yet still put it on the line in a very heroic, inspirational way. And they thought that was like the best way to close out his arc as well, which I think is kind of cool. If you look at the counterparts, it's like Cap started selflessly and gets a little selfish at the end, and then Iron Man starts selfishly and gets selfless at the end. So I thought that was really cool. And getting to the line with Iron Man, I want to talk about this. Tony Stark, when he uses the last line at the very end, I am Iron Man, that was actually not planned. It specifically wasn't going to be any line at all, because they kind of thought, how do you end that? How do you end this era, this arc, this movie, everything with a line? There was so much pressure on that line that initially the gag was going to be just him getting the stones from Thanos and being like, what? Snap. And it was actually Jeff Ford, who's one of their faithful editors, been there for a long time, who came up with the idea, and they actually had to pitch it to Robert Downey Jr. because they had already finished everything. He had kind of put the character to rest, and they had to kind of pull him back to come in and do the shot for that one line, because obviously, judging by what I saw, I'm glad they did, because that, to me, that just was like, I Am Iron Man started the MCU in this era, and I Am Iron Man finished it. So I was really happy with it. I mean, Iron Man's my favorite character, so it did kind of stink to see him die. But it was still, it was what it was, and it was an amazing movie. It was an amazing arc for a lot of the characters. So I can't talk about all of them today, but the other thing, the last little thing I want to talk about is the post-credit scene. The interview mentioned, just the bang-in kind of reminiscent of Iron Man in the beginning and why there really wasn't no post-credit scene. And what they said was the post-credit scene feeds the next movie. And this is the end. This is the end game for this movie, this era, these characters. There's nothing to cede to. It's closed. Which gets me to my last point. It sounds like these characters are finished. I mean, the way they flat out said through the interview that Robert Downey Jr. was done. He's done with his character. He's not coming back. They said the same about Chris Evans. It kind of breaks my heart a little because I'm still holding that little bit of hope that some kind of cameo or major event draws them back some way or somehow. One little teaser, though, they did mention about Thor being with the Guardians, and they didn't know for how long, and kind of threw that little tease out there. And I'm one who actually called it out a while back that I thought Thor would kind of join the Guardians, be kind of a makeshift as Guardians of the Galaxy. So we'll kind of see how that shakes out, kind of how that breaks for, the next Guardians movie, which Guardians 3 has been pushed off now because of the whole James Gunn thing. So we will kind of see. But they did mention, handing off the baton not only just to directors and actors, but the actual characters themselves. So I am curious to see, what comes of this. Do even, the Falcon, Scarlet Witch, those characters, are they still going to maintain? Or, we know that Doctor Strange and Black Panther, Spider-Man, they all have movies coming, so I'm sure those ones will continue. But some of these characters that have the TV shows planned, are they going to move to TV permanently? Is it going to be temporarily? Is it going to open up more for the MCU? Those are all things you guys can let me know down in the comments, please. Give me your opinion, your insight, and your feedback. So that's pretty much all I got for today's, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment. Let me know what you thought about the video, about the interview. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. Like I said, I will link it down in the description. So yeah, guys, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will get you into our giveaway. Our next giveaway prize is at 200 and will be a winner's choice poster. So keep watching, keep sharing, keep paying attention, guys. For the Quantum Corner, I'm Matt Stockholm saying, love you 3000. Take care, guys.